Hi everybody, this is my absolute beginner's guide to being a good squad player in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and it isn't all about being a crack shot. For me, the most important thing is the attitude you bring to the squad, and I always think it should be positive, it should be constructive, and you should respect all the other players no matter what their skill levels are, and you should always be trying to keep the atmosphere jovial and light. Remember, don't blame your squad mates when things go wrong, even if your opinion it was their fault. I'd rather come last in a squad where people respect each other than get a chicken dinner where everybody is dissing and criticising each other in a non-constructive manner. Now, I've got that off my chest because I think at the heart of being a good squad player, apart from the attitude you bring, is good communications, the ability to share resources, probably not taking too many risks, keeping together, making sure that you're vigilant, making sure that you stay alive, and making sure you stay positive. So what does that really look like in a game? So the first thing is that, when you're going in and you've discussed where you're going to drop, you drop as a squad and you drop with the squad. So if they're dropping in a particular part of Pachinki or where would be good one? Say on Miramar, when you want to drop, say, military base or something like that, you drop together in the same area, in the same building, if that is necessary, and you don't wander off thinking, oh, I'm going to get all this good stuff over here, because what will probably happen is that you'll get into trouble and your squad mates won't be there, one, to help, and two, to get there in time to revive you, well, to stop you being killed before you get finished off. So loot close. Now, sometimes in the larger buildings, especially on Miramar, it's advantageous to loot in the same building. However, on Miramar. However, if you're on Erengel, it's probably best not to loot in the same building because the buildings aren't big enough. So a good etiquette is that although you're staying close in near buildings, don't run into the same building that someone else is looting in and take the stuff, because that can annoy people. Remember, don't call out everything that you find. So if there's a level 1 vest there, a level 1 helmet, and you've just found it and you're putting it on yourself, don't call it out. And I would say don't even bother calling out level 1 stuff, helmets or vests, unless somebody in the team says, look, I haven't even got a helmet yet, or I haven't got a backpack yet. In that case, say, yeah, there's a level 1 vest here or a level 1 backpack. However, when you're happy with what you've got with your loadout, by all means then call out other weapons, especially some of the better ones like 416s or SKSs or SLRs or MK24s or Kar 98s, that sort of thing. And also, if somebody says, yes, I'm interested in that, mark it on the map. Say, okay, look, here it is. I'm going to be moving on. And also, you've got like an M16 with the 4 times on, and you're collecting 5.56, and you find a 4.16, and you don't really want to try it. You think, well, I'm not going to take it. And somebody says, oh, I fancy that. Don't take the ammo that's with it. Leave the ammo where it is, so that at least when they pick it up, they're going to have some 5.56 to go with it. Always pick up the rare items in the game. So you want to be picking up, even if you don't need them or you've already got one, suppressors, compensators, quick draw extended and extended mags, and magnified sights, especially because people will want those. And then before you move on, or a predetermined place where it's safe, get together and give them to people and tell people, look, I've got a spare suppressor for a sniper rifle or an AR. I've got a compensator for an SMG or a suppressor for an SMG. I've got quick draw mags, because somebody will probably say, oh yeah, I want that. As you're looting as well, it can be a good idea to call out locations of static vehicles if you haven't already got one. So, say, right, okay guys, I've seen a UAZ, it's just north of the compound we're in, so, we've got one to grab when we've got to go. While you are looting, it's very easy to be having a chat about what was on telly last night and the football results and stuff like that, but make sure you're listening out for and looking out for enemies, because it's very easy for them to creep up on you. But again, if you're looting together, it means that if somebody does, even if someone gets shot and gets attacked or even down, because you're close enough, you'll all have time to react to that threat. This kind of goes without saying, but don't mess around shooting at your teammates and then reviving them or throwing frags. It might seem like a laugh, but remember, if you shoot somebody for a laugh and they get downed, although you can pick them up, the next time they get down for real in a real fight, the amount of time that they can crawl around for is reduced drastically, so they're probably going to die. Also, it means that their vest will get damaged, their helmet will get damaged, and you're wasting ammunition. Now, while you're looting, if you do see real enemies, make sure you use clear call out. So it could be something like that. Okay guys, I see one enemy 180 south. He's quite far out, but he's coming towards us down the hill. Or it could be, Steve, I see two enemies close to you in the white building directly to your east. Now, if a gunfight then does erupt, or if it's it's about to, make sure you go and help your squad, but be careful, especially if you're reacting to directions and you haven't seen the enemy. So if someone says, "Oh, I've got a squad on me. I've got a squad on me," they're right on me. Start running over to them, but be very careful when you get closer, because you don't want to be killed running into a blind situation. Flank around, give yourself a bit of space, no matter how much they're shouting at you, so that you can get an angle so you can then take the enemies out. Because remember, lots of squad mates, they might get killed, but as long as the other team doesn't finish them off, you've got quite a lot of time to assess the situation and run in. And there's been quite a few situations where I've run blindly into a situation, got myself killed myself, while the person who was initially in trouble is actually okay and get themselves out of the situation. Similarly, if you're the one who's being attacked, make sure you use clear call-outs. Go, yeah, guys, I've got people underneath the building I'm in. They're to the north and they're moving round to the right-hand side. Yeah, Fred, yeah, they're moving towards you. And as your teammates are coming in, you can say, right, yeah, okay, they're between me and you. So be careful. You want to flank out left. So you're giving them all the information they need to spot the enemies before they can actually physically see them. As I said, once you've looted, offer to share your unwanted items, ammo boosts, meds, and continue to do this throughout the match. Call out, right, what meds has everybody got? Does anybody need any cokes? Does anybody need any boosts? Does anybody need any painkillers? Who's low on ammunition? And my rule of thumb is to share half of what I've got, no matter how much what it is, with another squad member who needs it. So if somebody says, I need 556, well, hopefully they're only saying that because they really do need it. But if they say, I need 556, I'll look at what I've got and say I've got 100 rounds, I'll give them 50 rounds. Say I've only got 30 rounds, I'll give them 20 rounds, because it's most important that everybody at least has some ammunition, so that when you're in a fight you can then respond. And remember, there's no point getting to the end of the game where you've got 300 rounds of 556 and are fully decked out with medkits if your 3 squad mates are all dead. You're not going to win the chicken dinner. As you move out of the looting phase and you move into the moving phase, obviously keep looking out for enemies and stuff, but if you drive, especially in squads, be very, very careful. Because it's easy as the driver, and I've done this myself many times, to kill all of your teammates by going over the edge of a cliff, ramming into a building, or especially now, going into the red zone and just all getting blown up at once. So to kind of avoid that, obviously avoid the red zone. Also maybe think about getting another vehicle. So always pull over and grab another vehicle. But while you're in the vehicle, if you're the one who's driving, you've got 3 other teammates in there, get them safely to the next location. Don't take lots of risks by driving too fast. Always be able to stop in the distance that you can see in front of you. If you're the passenger though, in one of these vehicles, help the driver out by marking out locations. Give him a marker and say, right, I've given you the yellow marker, head towards that. Or look at the map and go, right, yeah, especially on Miramar, yep, there's a left. If we take this dirt track on the left, we can then turn right, and that'll take us where we want to go. Now, as the mid to late game starts to develop, a good squad player will also be keeping an eye on the circle distance and the timer, and remind people how long they've got until the blue starts coming in. So, shout out, okay guys, we've got a minute till the blue starts coming in. And also have a look at the map and think, right, are we going to be able to get to where we need to go to be safe? Are we going to have to take a vehicle, or are we going to have to go on foot? Because you might well have to, hurry them along a bit and say, look guys, if we're going to go on foot, we need to go now. Or it could be, right, okay, it's too late, we need to take a vehicle and get in a vehicle that way. If you're the other person, though, who's listening to this, if somebody's shouting out, you know, right, the blue's coming, we need to go, you know, don't hang around looting for too long. The whole point of this with squad play is to try and get all 4 of you, or 3 if you're playing a 3-man squad, to the end of the game together, because then you'll give yourself a much greater chance of winning. You're going to be running into lots of gunfights, so again, use clear call-outs, and just bear in mind that as you're moving around, when you say east 250, if somebody's, you know, 20 or 30 meters away, that angle could be east 250, east 90. If they're a few, you know, quite a few meters away, that will be a different angle to them, so you might need to add something onto it. So they might be going, oh, I don't see anybody. So right, it's the White House on the right. Now, when you're getting into these gunfights as well, you'll be tempted to start to use grenades, but be very careful with any explosives, especially frags and molotovs and flashes, when your teammates are around, because it's very easy to flash them or even kill them and knock them with a mistimed frag, especially when you go to throw it through a window and it bounces off, and it doesn't bounce back towards you, it bounces towards them. So take that extra half second or so just to make sure aim is good, to make sure nobody's running forward, so you can say, yeah, right, I'm going to throw a grenade, nobody run forward, throw the frag, and then they can move afterwards. Smoke grenades, however, can be incredibly important and incredibly useful in squads, and so a good squad player will keep a supply of at least 1, maybe even 3 smoke grenades. And what you can do with those is, as soon as a member of your squad goes down, and let's say they've been sniped for a distance, they're trying to get somewhere safe, just gently toss a smoke grenade onto them, let it do its thing, and then go in and revive them. And you'll be amazed, you can be on top of a hill with lots of people firing at you, and they won't be able to hit you when you're hidden behind that smoke screen. You can also use smoke screens to get you out of sticky situations. Say there's a vehicle you need to get into, but you're taking fire, put down a couple of smoke grenades, wait for them to bloom, then jump in the vehicle so people can't snipe you when you get in the driver's seat. When you're attacking, or well, when you're picking up supply drops, as soon as you pull up at the supply drop, jump out of the vehicle or run up, drop down a couple of smokes, and then you can envelop that supply drop in smoke, so the person who's looting it can do so in safety. If you've got across a large open area, lob a couple of smokes, and you can create these stepping stone effects where you're running from smoke to smoke to smoke. While you're getting into gunfights as well, remember how earlier I said it's very important that you try and stay alive. So remember to use hard cover, you know, rocks and trees and stuff like that. It's very easy when you see somebody in the distance for everybody to just start shooting, and you feel a bit impervious because, you know, you've got all your other 3 teammates and you're all blasting away at these guys in the distance. But all it takes is somebody with a good aim who's got an AWM or a Kar 98 or MK24 to blat you in the head and take you down. You'd be amazed how easy that can happen. And also, as you're getting carried away with firing at these people, if all 3 of your teammates are firing at a target, what you should be doing, you should go, right, okay, so we've got 3 people engaging those targets over there. Do I really need to be firing at them still? Or should I instead be looking behind us to make sure nobody's creeping up on us while we're blasting away at these guys? And should I instead be checking the clock and checking the circle to make sure we don't need to go? Because when you're in a firefight, time speeds up incredibly, and all of a sudden the blue's coming in and you're in a situation where you're chasing the blue, and then you have to abandon a firefight, and maybe those people are in a better situation than you are. And also you'll be in situations where you're in a firefight and there's another squad who can hear that you're all blasting away, and they're just gently jogging up behind you ready to take you all out. So if your teammates are looking one way, you look the other way. If you can get to the last 10 with all of your squad, you'll have a really good chance of winning. So if you'll do all these things I've been talking about, so if you communicate clearly, if you share resources, if you don't take too many risks, if you keep together, if you remain vigilant, if you can keep yourself alive and you can keep a positive, respectful attitude to your squad throughout the game, chances are you won't get a chicken dinner every time, but you'll get more chicken dinners as you play. Okay, so hopefully that's a really good, complete beginner's guide to being a good squad player. Put your questions and comments down below. What do you think? What other things should people do when they go into squads? If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Thank you very much, and I will see you again soon.